One Piece 1109 was certainly one of the most intense chapters that fans got to witness, as it was marked with quite a lot of tension, and at the same time, nerve-wracking moments. The combat in this chapter was certainly exciting as well, as Luffy took on both Kizaru and Saturn at the same time. Furthermore, the most exciting parts of the chapter came towards the end, when an unexpected turn shocked every single fan, as a powerful force assembled against the Straw Hat Pirates on Egghead Island. That, and much more was tackled in One Piece chapter 1109, and it was certainly a chapter worth waiting for. Vegapunk's message preparation. Given that the previous chapter of One Piece ended with Vegapunk deciding to announce his message to the entire world, One Piece chapter 1109 opened with just that. In this week's chapter, Vegapunk decided to announce his message to the entire world. Given that this message was pre-recorded, Vegapunk was taking several things into consideration pertaining to how he would go about his message. At first, Vegapunk was holding a conversation between his many satellites, and it was made clear that an announcement that would be made abruptly would not be the best option here. Then, Vegapunk made it clear that you needed some preparation time so that the signal would reach all over the world, and everyone who was actually going to hear his message would be prepared for it as well. The initial proposed time was 1 hour, however. Deeming this to be enough time for the broadcast to get intercepted meant that he decided to change this to 10 minutes. While waiting for 10 minutes, Vegapunk decided to get coffee, as the rest of the world made preparations to receive this massive message. Given that everyone in the world is familiar with the name that is Vegapunk, people all over the world took this announcement seriously. This means that as this message is going to be broadcast all over the world, it is actually not simply going to be dismissed, as the severity of it is massive. Everyone is making preparations to receive it, and do it carefully. A lot of people all over the world were under the impression that Vegapunk had made the invention of the century, and others thought that if he was the one delivering the message, then it must be something of paramount importance. Oda used this to show that no one would discredit his word. As such, this only meant that the 5 elders, who were also hearing this message, were alerted to what was about to happen, and that they knew the Vegapunk would destroy the world order that they had established within a matter of minutes. Luffy vs. Kizaru and Saturn continues. One Piece chapter 1109 also saw the battle between Luffy and the duo of Kizaru and Saturn continue. Previously, fans saw Luffy hold Saturn and Kizaru in his grasp powerfully, claiming that he would not let either of them go. In this week's chapter, Luffy did quite a lot of damage to them, as was expected. Knowing that these two individuals were rather pesky, and that Saturn did not take any damage from whatever Luffy threw at him, the Straw Hat Captain decided to smack them in between the palms of his hands, and with that, turn them into paper-thin versions of themselves, almost as if out of a comic strip. He then spun their paper-thin versions on his index fingers, and launched them far, which saw Kizaru land directly inside a marine ship, laying on his back, all defeated. Meanwhile, Saturn changed his course midway, and decided to attack Luffy once again, which the Straw Hat Captain acknowledged as him being way too tough and persistent in battle. It was around this time that the 5 elders started telepathically communicating among themselves. Clearly, the 5 elders understand the severity of the situation, and they realize that, given the current standing, they will be unable to stop Vegapunk from delivering his message. As such, the best way to go about this predicament for them would be to present on Egghead Island themselves. The 5 elders arrive on Egghead. Towards the end of One Piece chapter 1109, fans were utterly shocked to see that Saturn decided to use a summoning ritual to bring forth every single elder on the island. Now, Luffy is faced with the 5 elders at the same time. Fans saw giant summoning circles emerge on the ground on Egghead Island, surrounded by massive flames, and of course, huge streaks of black lightning emerging from them. The nearby marine ships saw these giant streaks of lightning as well, as did Sanjis and everyone else on the island. Clearly, the 5 elders are here to join the fight, and their goal is to stop the broadcast from Vegapunk. At the same time, they want to deal with Sun God Nika once and for all. The battle is only getting more exciting with these developments, and fans are certainly excited to see what direction Oda takes next. Given that all the 5 elders are here, Luffy will have to fight every single one of them by himself. This is going to be a very difficult task for him to pull off, especially given that he was struggling to damage Saturn on his own. There is no denying the fact that Luffy clearly holds more strength than Saturn up his sleeve, and that he is the stronger of the two. However, Saturn's regenerative abilities make it so that Luffy simply cannot defeat him easily. Now, on top of Saturn, there are 4 more elders to deal with, and this is certainly going to be quite a challenge for the Straw Hat Pirate. Unfortunately, fans will not get to see this fight continue next week. This is because One Piece is now going on a break, having delivered 3 chapters in a row. This also means that the incredible moment when all 5 elders present themselves on Egghead at once will have to wait for at least a period of 2 weeks. It is only after that fans will finally get to see Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates face these mighty leaders of the world at once. That said, the 2 weeks break time gives fans plenty of time to sit back, reevaluate the chapter, and of course, figure out and theorize what is going to happen next. Clearly, the Egghead Island arc has proven itself to be the most unpredictable one in the entirety of the story, and fans are loving every single development that is taking place in this story arc. And in other news, One Piece, Oda reveals a shocking detail about Sanji's hidden power. Sanji is the cook of the Straw Hat Pirates, and one of the most important characters that Oda has introduced in his story. Over the years, Sanji has only kept on growing in terms of importance, and right now, it can be said that even among the members of the Straw Hat Pirates, Sanji shines especially in most of the arcs. Sanji is not just an excellent cook but also an excellent fighter, and his importance is such that he has had 2 arcs dedicated to him, and the title of the Wings of the Pirate King as well, which he shares with Zoro, the number 2 of the Straw Hat Pirates. Just like Zoro and Luffy, Sanji possesses incredible strength up his sleeve, and, in his case, this strength seems to have a very curious source. Oda recently dropped quite a lot of hints pertaining to Sanji's true source of power, and it appears that this power source is unlike any other seen in One Piece. Sanji's power of love. While Oda has introduced many powerful abilities in the world of One Piece, using which different individuals take their ability to the next level, such as devil fruits and haki, in the case of Sanji, this power is known to be nothing other than love. It is very interesting that in Sanji's case, his power stems directly from one thing that gave him humanity, and that is love. For those who do not remember, Sanji was born as the child of the judge and Sora, and the former experimented upon him while he was in his mother's womb. Out of 4 brothers, Sanji was the only one who was born normal. The others had all their emotions stripped from them, turning them into emotionless monsters. Sanji lived at the cost of his mother's life, who was primarily responsible for giving him his emotions and his kindness, making him one of the kindest people in the entire world. As such, Sanji is a very emotional person who, at the end of the day, is powered by her love. This is something that he has made clear on many occasions in the story already. This love manifests in curious ways. For instance, Sanji has always had a resistance to fire, and while it seems to stem from his genetic modifications, it is only strengthened by the power of love that he possesses. Sanji first manifested these powers fully in the fight against Jabra in the Enies Lobby arc, and back then, it was clear for the fans to see that he had hit a completely new level of strength. When Oda was asked about this in an SBS, it was simply because fans were utterly confused as to how Sanji was not burning from the flames that he produced. Oda mentioned that this was possible because the flames in his heart, also known as the flames of passion, burn even hotter. Clearly, this was a connection to his emotions, and in Wano, it was brought up once again. When he fought Queen, the cyborg questioned him as to what kind of enhancement he was using to produce the flames. Sanji mentioned that it was his emotions and his passion that burned hotter that allowed him to produce these flames. Sanji even mentioned that he burned hotter than any other flame, simply because these flames burn with passion and, consequently, emotions. In the Egghead Island arc, Sanji's power of love was put on display once again when he fought against Admiral Kizaru. He completely destroyed the light that he fired at him. Sanji made it possible due to the power of love, and he made it quite clear that this physics-defying feat was only possible because love surpasses everything else that exists in the world. Sadly, Sanji did not get a chance to fight and defeat Kizaru in battle. However, the display that he put on against him was still incredible nonetheless. The difference between Haki and power of love. While many fans might wonder as to what the power of love is exactly, or if it even exists beyond being a gag in One Piece, they might actually be surprised to know that Oda has actually answered this question himself. Power of love is something that is a very real concept in the world of One Piece, and it certainly does make a difference in combat as well. In volume 62 of One Piece, Oda was asked about how Garp was able to hurt Luffy when he visited him in the Enies lobby arc. To be more precise, around this time, the concept of Haki was already fleshed out in the story. As a thought, readers were curious as to whether Garp used Haki to hurt Luffy or not. This confusion stemmed from the fact that when Luffy was bamboozled at how he got hurt despite being rubber, Garp said that he was able to hurt him simply because of the power of love. To answer this question, Oda said that in this particular instance, Garp did not make use of Haki, but he was actually able to hurt Luffy with the power of love, despite him being made of rubber. This clearly implies that the power of love is something that exists beyond Haki, devil fruits, or other abilities, and that it certainly does make a difference in combat as well. The limitations of love in One Piece. Given that it is a common concept in the world of One Piece that love strengthens someone, and even helps them do impossible things that even defy physics, or any other concept, such as the protection offered by devil fruits, then one can clearly come to the conclusion that love is an incredible power source that goes beyond all limits in the One Piece world. There is absolutely no limit as to what love can achieve in the world of One Piece. And while this power is a bit underexplained at this point in time, Oda will surely elaborate upon it as One Piece continues. It also ties in very well with the ceiling of Sanji in One Piece. Currently, fans know Sanji to be a powerful individual above the level of the Yonko commanders. However, the way Sanji is evolving, and based on his current display, it isn't a stretch to say that by the end of the series, Sanji will be one of the strongest individuals in the entire story. Sanji will most likely stand on the same pedestal as the likes of the Emperors of the Sea and other powerful individuals, and all of that will be down to his power of love and the bright passion that he possesses, which was gifted to him by his mother at the cost of her own life. This truly completes Sanji's character and establishes an incredible force in the One Piece world, which can be challenged by no other. That's a wrap for this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with more amazing videos very soon.